And we're live. Hey, folks. Welcome back to the Wildlands Campaign. And we are going to get right into it because last time you guys approached the Bandit camp proper. You met someone from Bref's past, an important someone. You began to make plans to rescue his brother Orinar, his sea brother, I should say, Orinar, from the clutches of the ruthless Steel-Tooth Pack. And you swore not to start a fight you couldn't win. At this moment, the gang of you are standing over here behind this wrecked airship. Trying to come up with a way to accomplish these goals, as the camp parties or slumbers drunkenly all around you in preparation for the big moot, the big meeting of the Thief Kings, to take place the following day. And Orinar, having met you here while his masters are distracted, is answering your questions, along with another spellcasting slave whom the Steel-Tooth Pack seems to have captured, and is standing mostly quiet. You saw her forced performance earlier, and she is now watching you guys as you speak with Orinar, perhaps wondering if you can rescue them. And Orinar just answered a question about the key to the slave cage.
And that was what the lieutenant had, right?
Indeed. The first mate of the Distant Spirit, which is Captain Puck LeBlanc's ship. Which is not this ship. This is some other ship that they chartered from an enchanter to fly over the desert and away from their normal seagoing area in order to attend the moot, although Captain Puck LeBlanc herself has not been in evidence.
Well, the way I see it, we basically have a couple of different options. The first option is we try to take advantage of the fact that everybody is sort of one type of distracted tonight to try and at least sneak on the ship and do some reconnaissance. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some people on board the ship who wouldn't normally be there, if you catch my drift, tonight specifically. Or, alternatively, we simply try to start the fight tomorrow using the Falcon statue.
I mean, I like the idea of having a distraction, but I'm not sure if tomorrow maybe the guards will be even more heightened with the actual moot happening.
Yeah, I can't decide whether that's gonna make them higher alert or less alert?
I mean, it all depends on if we can get them actually fighting. I mean, do we think the Falcon carries that much weight?
I mean, our friends seem to think so, but I don't really know how much we can trust him.
Yeah, and I mean they do seem to enjoy fighting amongst themselves.
There's been a really big build-up to First Blood and all that.
Yeah, they're very much about territory and stuff. I don't know what could we really gain by sneaking onto the ship tonight? Because
So much.
well,
A layout of the ship, a look at where the armory is, the possibility of taking some things out of the armory, the possibility of stealing the key off of the first mate, the possibility of talking some people on the ship onto our side, possibly starting the fight early, considering that they seem to be allied with the orcs. I mean, that's just off the top of my head.
yeah, that's true. What time is it right now? Or around what time?
It's around. It's getting close to midnight at this point.
Okay.
So we have a few hours while they're still, I mean, midnight. They're going to be going for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it would probably be good to know some stuff. To get some more ideas. And I mean, what else are we going to do between now and then anyway? I mean, I guess we can rest. How long ago did we last rest?
We took a nap this afternoon.
Okay. That's right. That's right. Yeah. I'm also really concerned with once we do, let's say it all goes off without a hitch and distraction or whatever works, so we get the ship in the air, we're going to have to worry about these ballista. I think that's going to be our biggest, and any kind of spellcasters. But from what we can see right now, it looks like the ballista are definitely going to be an issue.
Yeah, well, that might be another argument for doing it at a time when people are not particularly organized. I mean, I agree that the ballistae are going to be a problem, but if we get in the air before they're able to get to them, load them, aim them, etc., then that buys us enough time to sort of charge full speed and then slow down once we're out of eyesight.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Okay. Then let's try to find a way onto this ship and see what we can find out. Do we all
Orinar,
want
do
to
you have any thoughts on the best way to get on board?
He says, "That's a bold move. I don't know if it can be done. There will be sentries. There will be the watch on board ship.
Let me ask you this. Who would be the most likely person to try to bring somebody on during a party? And where do I find them? And what do they like to drink?
That's an interesting question. I guess I hadn't thought about it before. Maybe there are a couple of people. He kind of glances at Sarah. He says, "You know, people who would want to bring on board others to have their Sarah nods, and she
Right.
clears her throat. She says, people who would be brought on for nefarious purposes, or in their drunken revels. There's probably one or two on board right now.
Maybe we could find a way to use that as a way to get on.
Nefarious purposes. That's not exactly what I was asking, but that's actually even more interesting than what I was asking.
I assure you, it's not. Ornar says, "Are you sure that stealing the ship is the right move? That would definitely... Stealing slaves is bad enough, but stealing a ship, that would bring them all after us."
Well, can you think of any other way to transport that number of people away from here quickly enough that they couldn't catch up to us? Because as far as I can tell, this is the only ship here, and the whole idea is to give everybody a head start. But if you know better, then I'm willing to listen.
I don't... I can't argue with that. Well, how sneaky are you? He looks at Bref questioningly.
I feel personally attacked right now. I think it's maybe not so much sneaking as, and I shoot Bella a meaningful look, talking our way through it.
I mean, that was my plan.
Yeah, I mean, we have... I think we might be able to lie our way in.
And then take control of the ship?
That's not necessarily our goal for tonight.
Oh.
We're taking it one step at a time.
Oh, I see. Well, all right then. You tried posing as a buyer before. He looks at Orinar. Orinar looks at Bref. I guess you could try that again. Maybe be a drinking buddy, or maybe one of the other Thief King's people looking for an old friend.
Indeed.
It probably wouldn't get by the first mate, Chip. But if someone else is watching and questions you, it could work.
Right. And his only real weakness is wanting to impress Captain Puck LeBlanc, who is not here. That we know of.
Right.
Interesting.
That is something with...
There's the bosun, Oswin Morton. They call him the Kraken. Because he has 6 fingers and toes.
Total?
On each limb.
Oh.
Anyway, he's one that might be swayed. Especially if you have strong liquor.
Oh, we do.
The strongest. All right, are we doing this? Are we all doing this?
Well, that's another good question.
Yeah, as much as I don't like the idea of splitting us up, I also don't know if I like the idea. I don't know if they're going to buy all of us wanting to go on. I don't know if they're going to bring all of us. It seems like they would be more apt to bring one or two on board tonight than
Right.
5.
Yeah, the 5 of you might seem too much like a well-armed force to bring aboard.
Yes, I was thinking it would be better if one or two of us at least attempted the distraction and the conversation. Perhaps other people could, I don't know, do other things or sneak on another way.
Okay.
Kudos to Roll20 for choosing the good music tonight.
Okay. So if we who would be I mean, okay. So I know we're probably going to the best people to go on board are going to be people that are going to be able to talk them into letting us own, I'm assuming, correctly. So that's going to be Bella, and it might be me.
Bref, are your friends seagoing or airgoing?
No. No, they couldn't find their way on a rowboat, I'm afraid.
That might make manning the ship difficult if the plan is to just have you and me doing it. But it's an airship, but it works much the same as a seagoing vessel. Just like the Akkadi's Whisper. You put down the sails and it starts to move. Maybe you have to understand that all of these bandits, they all operate in terms of might makes right. Very few are truly loyal. Should they encounter someone stronger, or with a stronger power over them, a more present threat, or the power to give them riches, or more stuff sooner, they are likely to change sides. Now, the first mate, for example, Chip Vicious and some others, probably can't be bought or even threatened into submission. But most can.
So perhaps if we got to the first mate and overthrew him somehow, the rest would see us as their new captains. Is that what you're suggesting?
Perhaps I've been a slave long enough that hadn't even occurred to me. I simply meant take over from the quartermaster on the ship, or threaten everyone on board, or... Bref knows this. Once a ship leaves port, whoever's in charge is in charge. There isn't really... Land rules no longer apply. And all injuries, all gripes have to be put aside, and the captain's word is law.
Could we use these damn brands and the fact that we are now in the employ of Childearth to our advantage in trying to convince them that we're working with her and that for this promise of riches. How is there a way to use that?
Only if people recognize it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Surely people know about Childearth. I mean, she's pretty close to here, but I mean, but I guess this is not where they live. This is just where the meeting is. So some of these people may not be familiar with them.
Well, they might know about her, but it's just our word against. Like, do they recognize the brand?
Right. I don't even know what the brand says. It may say kill on sight, for all we know.
Yeah, it seems kind of risky to just go around showing people something mysterious written on our legs that we don't know what it says.
So what we're saying is Childearth needs to work on her branding.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what we're saying. Right now, we're functionally the draconic equivalent of a bunch of sorority girls who went to Japan on spring break and came back with tattoos.
Spring break?
What?
You know, when you pull a string too much and it breaks,
Oh, yeah.
and then it smacks you in the head and you make dumb decisions about the tattoos you get.
Exactly.
For only the second time, Sarah speaks up. She says, Orinar, Ori, I could put a glamour over them. I could, or even over us. I could make us look different for a while. It's not a perfect illusion, but if they're drunk, Ornar nods. Could that help?
Maybe.
I mean, it certainly couldn't hurt.
Okay. Let's come up with what's the most likely story to get us on that boat right now. Obviously, if we could prove to them that we had some sort of power behind us, or that we were power, they would be more likely to let us on.
That's definitely true, says Ornar.
Okay. Okay. Who did you say, Bella, when you told them that you were looking to buy? Who did you say you were looking to buy for? Chowder, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Who is this Chowderth?
Oh, it's a big red dragon.
Oh. I haven't ever met a dragon. I saw a dragon once on an island.
Well,
Yeah,
Some
we pissed
dragons.
the dragon off and it gave us a tattoo. And by tattoo, I mean a really nasty brand.
That's awful. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Are you
Well,
alright?
like I said, we've gone through a lot.
You've got to be careful with that. I've heard terrible things about dragon magic.
Yeah, so far it's, it's been fine.
Sarah speaks up. She says, dragon magic is stronger and subtler than mortal magic.
Yeah, I wish we had time to worry about that right now, but we really don't.
She nods.
I mean, all we have to do to get rid of it is find a super powerful warrior who can fly through the air at ease, so...
She says... She says, Ori, what about Mercy Swale? He says, Mercy the dog Swale? She says, I don't know. It's probably a bad idea.
No, go ahead. All ideas are on the table. What?
Is that a cocktail, or...?
She seems very hesitant to speak up. She doesn't know you, and she seems very afraid. It's going to be a persuasion roll.
For me?
Yep.
Okay.
But she was kind of half addressing you, so it has to be you.
Okay. 21.
Nice. Sarah takes a deep breath. Mercy. She's one of the sailors. She might even be on watch right now. She's afraid of tieflings.
Interesting. Well, I can be pretty scary when I want to be.
It's true, he really can.
I don't know, Equitas. Her nickname is the dog. Are you going to be able to handle that?
That feels like it wasn't a coincidence. Yeah, just this once I might be able to push that to the back of my mind. Do you know anything about why she's so afraid of tieflings? Or do you just is this just something you've noticed?
I think she ran away to the sea to escape the White Witch.
I know that the word White Witch has come up before, but does that mean anything?
It's a place.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's there. Apparently an evil tiefling.
I've heard she's not evil, says Oranar. But I'm not too familiar with these parts.
And so she's from around here?
Think so.
And
Well, if you want to play interference on talking to the people on guard with the slaves, maybe we could get them all on board and then just sort of hijack.
Sarah says, you could say you're from the university.
What university?
The University of White Witch. I've heard of it. That's all.
I mean, I don't think I should. I think that'd be bad for me, but maybe some of the others could.
Oh, breath, says Orinar. You would make a great university student. If you wanted to be.
Maybe we should work on the reading first.
Oh, I forgot to... Yeah, anyway.
Alright, so you go scare the dog. I can try to get on board by talking to the quartermaster
Bosun?
and the bosun, right? And then what is everybody else going to do?
Well, okay. Tell me why we need to scare the dog, Mercy Swale. What are we trying to achieve by doing that? Just get her on our side?
Might be trying to get her away from the slaves.
I thought you were
Okay.
trying to scare someone to let you on board.
See, that's what I thought too. That's where I was. That's what I was following also. So. So we think she's on board, or she might be.
We think that she might be by the slaves.
Ah. Okay. Talk to her and then see if she'll let us on board from there. Okay, I got you.
I mean, I think at this point, maybe Maver and I, we position ourselves as close to the entrance as we can without being too suspicious and be ready to leap into action in case things go sideways.
That might be for the best.
Okay. I don't know. I don't like splitting this up. But I mean, yeah, I can talk. Okay, but okay, so here's my question. If I go, okay, so you're gonna go to the ship, Bella, and try to talk to the bosun to try to get him to bring you on, right?
Yeah, with Breath's whiskey.
And at the same time, I'm going to the cage to talk to Mercy the dog Swale and try to scare her into letting me on.
Well, if you want to scare her into letting you on, then I suppose I don't need to go talk to the bosun. I was trying to figure out how we could get the slaves onto the ship, and I thought that's where you came in, but it
Well,
seems like we're going in a different direction.
Okay, I mean, if that's, we could do that too. But if we do that, then we would need to wait till we're ready to go to do that. Right?
Yep, probably.
Okay. Then okay. We still need to figure out what we're gonna do. What do we think is gonna be easier to get us on? Talking to the bosun at the ship, or me talking to the dog?
Usually, fear works better in the short term, but ends up exploding in your face long term.
Right. I mean, it
So
might
then,
be. Go ahead.
no, please, your plan.
Well, I mean, I might be able to scare her, like to at least go over there and scare her enough to get her sort of more on her side, on our side, so that the next time we see her, she'll be quote unquote friendlier to us, even if we don't use her for much now. And that's just sort of half-assed.
I don't really know. I would only give her time to say, hey, this scary person came over and talked to me and get some backup.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we were about to want those prisoners out of the cage, like right now, I think talking to her right now would be a good idea. But I don't think that's what we want to do.
I mean, I'm open to it as a possibility, but that seems to be against the tide.
Mm-hmm. But that's good information if we run into her later. Okay, then here's what I suggest. Maver, Breath, and Akiri, you just sort of stay here. Keep an eye on us. And then me and Maver can try to get on the... I mean, me and Bella can try to get on the ship. Or I mean, Bella and somebody else. I was just thinking that maybe I could back up with, talking.
No, that makes sense. I think that has the greatest possibility of success.
What do the rest of us think?
I'm on board.
Sounds good to me.
Or it will be.
So Equitus and Bella, you leave the rest of the group and approach the airship.
Yeah, I guess so. We try to find Mercy the dog.
Wait, are we trying to find her, or are we trying to find the bosun?
Either one.
Oswin Morrison.
Okay. Well, I guess you get some information about them from Orinar.
What they approximately look like, we would need to know, I guess.
Right. Okay. Well, Mercy the dog Swale is a human woman, stocky, wields an axe that returns to her hand when she throws it. And she has kind of bright orange hair. Oswin the Kraken Morton is a halfling with dark hair who is very nimble and I guess likes to drink.
Breath, can we borrow that bottle of liquor?
Oh, of course. Just, don't drink it all in one place.
I don't
No,
Well,
seriously, don't. It would kill you.
Yeah.
So, carrying this bottle of liquor with a skull and crossbones on it, you approach the pirate airship. A figure in a dark cloak looks over the gunwales as Aquitas and Bella approach. It's a dark-skinned, possibly half-elven woman. And she calls down, Oi! Who goes there?
Good evening. Me and my compatriot were wondering if you wanted to share this, and I'm going to pull out the bottle of liquor. If you had any use for this evening.
Got plenty of our own, thanks. She holds up a bottle. Sloshes with amber liquid.
Oh, but you haven't had this. This is the best in all the Wildlands. I swear, one drink, you won't ever see things the same way again.
And why do you want to share with the hard-working crew of the Steel Tooth Pack?
Because nobody else is being friendly.
Nobody else is being friendly. Alright, go ahead and make a deception roll. One of you can make the roll, and the other one provides advantage.
That's a 23.
She says, well, I don't know how friendly we are. Someone calls it down from the crow's nest up on the mast. Are you turning down free liquor?
So you ought to listen to your friend up there.
A halfling half falls, half climbs down the rigging, kind of tumbling, occasionally catching onto a rope with a finger or toe, seemingly, and ends up down near you guys. He seems extremely drunk, has dark hair, and says, "It's the Bandit Moot. You want to give us liquor? And I say, climb aboard." Now the woman in the dark cloak turns to him and she says, "They seem all right, but," she said, Chip Vicious said, no visitors.
Well, we're not just visitors. We're you know I promise that we could, if this works out the way we want to, we're probably going to end up being patrons. We've seen what you have for sale, and we just like to make sure get to know who we're buying from first. And yeah, I think that this could work out well for everybody.
Well, the first mate's giving his orders, pal. You seem nice, though. Maybe you should meet me behind those tents over there.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that on board the ship. We'll see what happens.
We're not supposed to have any visitors. The halfling is growing more disappointed, but they have free liquor.
All right, consider it a friendship offering. We don't have to come on and stay. Why don't we just come on in full view of everybody, and everybody has a drink, and then we all go our separate ways, or go different ways together, depending on what we work out.
Huh?
Free liquor.
Yeah, free liquor, says the halfling. A woman appears at the edge of the gunwale. She has bright orange hair and seems rather stocky, and she is tossing a double-headed axe, a small throwing axe with a double head up and down in her hand, and she says, Oi! What's all this chatter then?
Free liquor.
Free liquor, huh? Well, we'll come down and share it with you then. And bring some wine of our own.
Perfect.
She nods at the halfling, and he eagerly falls off the edge, landing with a splat in the sand. And reaches up his hands for the bottle. What shall we toast?
To banditry.
To what?
Bandits.
Sure. If you give him the bottle, he takes a swig.
Oh, definitely.
Oh! Staggers back, kind of leans against the side of the ship. Oh, that's the business.
Anybody else?
He calls up, hey, dog! This stuff's the business. That's so. Well, you enjoy yourself, Oswin. Don't mind if I do. He holds out a bottle to you guys. To banditry.
All right. Now we have to get. So, what's the deal with the first mate not letting anybody on the ship? I thought we were all being friends here. It's a bandit moot.
I don't know, says Oswin. He just said while he was away. Oh, that's strong stuff. He said no visitors while I was away. He's not very much fun, but you seem fun.
I mean, that's what I've been told.
You have fun liquor. Oh, but it burns.
Yeah, it's the best kind.
We have a keg on board.
Look, I mean, you know when he's gonna get back? Like, maybe we can just sneak off. He doesn't have to know.
You seem like good drinking buddies. But we're not supposed to. Hey, Akiri!
I'm here.
Welcome, welcome. Why don't you guys fill her in real quick? I have to be right back.
So right now, Equitus and Bella are attempting to sneak onto the boat in an information gathering mission before we attempt to liberate said boat, but after causing a kerfuffle with the Moot tomorrow.
Gotcha. Why
And
didn't you send a carry under the boat? She can fly.
well, because you'd probably get spotted. Like it's occupied by quite a few folks.
That's fair. Okay.
But I mean, if you want to fly above it and see what you can see from there, night sky and everything.
Not a bad idea.
But right now, the three of us, Yumi and Mavra, are kind of sitting nearby, still with Orinar and Sarah, and waiting. If things go sideways, we're ready to leap into action.
Gotcha. Ooh, there are a lot of people. So, what's going on right now?
We're drinking with the bosun, trying to talk him into letting us on the ship, and we just found out that the first mate is elsewhere, which means that my brain is working. But none of you guys know that.
Okie doke.
And at some point, I'm going to have a conversation with Orinar about who this Sarah person is.
I'm going to take this opportunity to probably do the same thing Max is doing.
I have returned. We lost Paul?
Temporarily, he'll be right back.
Just left.
Okay.
While we're waiting for him, can we do a star wipe and go back to our little group, and I can pull
Star
Orinar
wipe.
aside for a conversation?
Star wipe. Our camera cuts to behind the ruined airship in the sand, where Akiri, Bref, Mavra, and Orinar and Sarah, the two slaves, are waiting and watching everything that's going down. What do you do?
Orinar, can I talk to you for a second?
I hope so. What is it?
Look, I'm a little bit in private. Like, can we step over behind this, I don't know, plank of wood that's here?
I dare not go too far, brother, but yes, of course. So you and he kind of step away, and Sarah looks really nervous.
Akiri's gonna walk up to her and say, because she's injured, right? Or
Sarah?
Yeah, she.
Yes, she has bruises.
Do they look pretty fresh?
They do.
I think you healed them
Yeah.
last time. I mean, I'm sure they're still there, but you did.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Akiri's gonna sit her down and be like, "Here, let me take a look at those," and then try to see if
She
there's
leans
anything
back.
she can do.
I don't know.
It's okay. I know some things. I know medicine things.
I'm sure you do, but if the bruises go away, they'll know something's up.
That's true. Good point. I just don't want you to be uncomfortable, you know? That was so painful.
I thank you, but I can't. She looks over at Mavra. Your friend is very well armed.
Well, we're adventurers. We have to be. I mean, I don't. I just use magic. Um, it's what we do. It's how we be.
While that conversation is happening, Ornar is saying, "They are adventurers indeed," and walks over to where you're standing, Bref.
So who's Sarah?
He looks over. I know it's difficult, brother, but try to keep your voice down. She is someone She has also been enslaved unjustly by the Steeltooth Pack. She has been very ill-used, but she has a good spirit, I think.
She called you Ori.
Yes?
Just one thing I've noticed, and I mean, I've never been entirely perceptive about the ways of the world. That still hasn't changed, but
I think you're
seeing
wiser
the-
than you know, Bref.
My friends, Equitus and Bella, they sometimes also use cute names for each other, and they share kind of a special connection, if you know what I mean.
Oh. Bref.
No, I get it. You thought I was dead. I understand.
Oh. That's what you're asking me. Bref, I've had to do some terrible things. He looks up at you. I've had to be a bad person to survive. And I haven't been able to be myself in a long time. I don't... As a slave, you can't have special relationships. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think I do, yes.
Why are you asking me this now, Raph?
Look, we were coming for you. Absolutely. No matter what. But part of me hoped after this was done, things could maybe go back to the way they were before. Which, with Sarah, I don't know if that's possible.
With Sarah. Bref, everything has changed. I don't know that anything will be the way it was before, but not because I've met somebody that I want you to save also. Don't you... Bref, this has been the worst experience. And for the first time, you're giving me hope. Real hope. That we'll escape out of it. But... I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't think that we can think about that right now. Bref, I'm not sure that you would want things to go back to the way they were. But can we talk about it later?
Oh, that's fine. I mean, you try and tell me that I'm wiser than I think I am, and then I think I can't even decide what I want for myself. But fine. No, we'll talk about it later. Absolutely. And I walk back to the group.
Okay. As Bref walks away, Ornar stays there. He doesn't move a muscle. Akiri and Mavra, since you're probably looking over that direction, I'm guessing.
Maybe.
Are you or aren't you?
Nah, Kiri isn't.
Mavra?
I figured we'd be talking to Sarah.
Yeah, I think Akira has just enough social graces to know when a private conversation is private.
Okay. Well, if you go back to the rest of the group, Bref, Ornar stays put for a few minutes while the scene with Bella and Equitas is playing out. And when he finally rejoins you guys, his eyes are shiny and red. Smash cut back to Bella and Equitas.
Alright, so we're all getting drunk with the halfling down at the bottom of the ship.
Yeah, and the other pirates are kind of like checking you out over the gunwale. The gunwale.
Flaunt it, baby, flaunt it.
Alright, so I'm gonna take the jug back from the halfling and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna start passing this around. And I wave it up at the pirates on the gunwale and I say, anybody want to join us for a drink? This stuff we found literally in a shack in the middle of the desert being held by a skeleton. And if that doesn't speak to its quality, I don't know what does.
The halfling Kraken shouts up, I want to show them the keg we have. Shush, says the woman in the orange hair.
By the way, my eyes are pegged on her. I'm really staring daggers at her.
Okay. Are you trying to do anything with that right now? I mean, you are some... You can see each other clearly, but...
I just am always trying to know where she is. And...
Okay.
Basically.
She does seem to slightly uncomfortable with that. But not necessarily more inclined to let you on board yet. Go ahead and make a persuasion check. Bella. For what you just said.
That's a 16.
Oh, they'll just stay a minute and have a drink with us, says the bosun. And he's like, let down the ladder. These landlubbers won't know how to climb. And while the half-elf starts to do it, the human woman with the orange hair, the dog, stops her and says, I don't think so. We have our orders from the first mate. You think Chip Vicious is a forgiving man?
I think anybody's inclined to be a little bit more forgiving if they've had a sip of this. In fact, I think if it gets back to him that you kept him out of everybody in the crew from giving it a try, then you're going to be in more trouble than if you did let us on board.
I doubt that. Do you want to make a persuasion check for that as well?
No, but I would like to make a persuasion check for this. I'm going to say very loudly to sort of everybody except her. Who invited this killjoy on board? I thought we were all pirates.
Yeah, don't be a killjoy, says the halfling. Okay, go ahead.
That's a 23.
It is indeed. She says, oh, fine. One drink from the keg. I don't mind if I join you. And lets down the rope ladder.
Yay!
A 23 is pretty darn good.
All right, I guess I climb the ladder.
You guys get on board the ship. The halfling swarms up swiftly past you. And excitedly shows you the keg, holds out a couple of mugs, fills them to the brim with frothy ale. There's also several bottles of wine lying around. And he brings you the mugs and says, partake, friends. What Thief King do you serve?
We're not here to serve a Thief King. We're here to buy slaves.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. So, you're looking to buy the slaves, huh?
Yep.
Yep, that's good. Makes us money.
Exactly. And look, we're here to buy the good slaves. That's why we're on this boat. We're not here because we want to buy the goblins over there. We have plenty of goblins. We have all the goblins we want. We're here for the, lean in, nice stage whisper, magic slaves.
The woman with the orange hair, known as the dog, appears behind you and says, well, we've definitely have a few of those. Did you see their performance?
Oh, yes.
She looks over in the direction of the cage. Let's see what they're up to now. Starts walking that way.
I'm gonna follow her.
Ruh-roh.
Please do.
Okay. You go to the port side of the ship. She leans over and peers down at the cage and says, that's strange. I don't see them.
Did you lose some slaves?
She looks uncomfortably over her shoulder at you. Excuse me?
You said you didn't see them. Are you missing some slaves?
No, they're not lost. She whistles. Hey, snitch! One of the guys by the cage looks up. She says, where's the magic slaves? Got a couple of buyers here. And he looks around and shrugs. She says, probably servicing one of the crew below decks. They can't get far. Away from the ship, you understand.
Oh?
What do you mean?
They know what Chip Vicious would do to them.
Well, we're not here for business. We're here for pleasure. Why aren't you drinking with everybody else? Are you some kind of Tito? Tito?
Just have your drink and move on. She looks annoyed at Equitas standing near her.
You can take a step closer.
She puts her hand on the throwing axe at her belt.
Don't have to worry about me. Not unless you're gonna be worrisome.
She says, you making some kind of problem?
No, I did not come here to make a problem.
Are you here to fuck, fight, drink, or leave?
Right now we're drinking.
Then you're gonna leave.
Well, I figure we'll leave our options open.
Right. She says, hey, Kraken, give me one of them mugs. And goes to have some ale from the keg. So people start drinking and a song breaks out. You hear the voices from around the ship, as well as inside it, breaking into a sea shanty.
I'll gladly jump in on that.
You jump in on it. Alright, so now you're drunkenly singing and partying with these guys.
Yes, and I'm going to start making my way around, seeing if I can find anybody who is willing to give me a tour below deck.
If you know what I mean.
I don't understand that question. Are you looking for a tour guide?
No. I'm gonna go around flirting with all of the drunk sailors.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, well...
Make a persuasion check. Make a flirt check.
I have a +10 from my bagpipes.
You're like, hey, sexy.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Irresistible.
Irresistible.
All right. That's a 22.
Okay. You have some success with the person who's kind of checking the lashings on the tiller. And you start leaning on each other and kind of drunkenly, grinning, and he's like, let me show you around down below decks, baby.
Perfect.
Choosing a moment when the dog is distracted, you head down below decks. Mostly it's empty. Most of the pirates are off, at various drinking, partying. What is it that she said? Fucking, fighting, drinking. But there are a few hammocks with sheets around them, kind of cordoned off. And a couple of people taking their shore leave on board the ship, as it were. But mostly, you've already seen everybody on board. You see, at a glance, the whole ship. I mean, do you have any questions? What are you guys looking for?
So, I guess, what I'm kind of looking for. So, we figured out the easiest way on board the ship is the ladder, but the ladder might not. I mean, it can be pulled up. Mm-hmm. So, I'm looking for,
there's
like
some
maybe
very, very long ropes that could probably reach from a very high height down to the ground.
Okay. And then approximately how many people are on board?
Okay. There seem to be 6 total on board. 2 of them are, incapacitated in one way or another.
Well, that's nothing. All right.
So the halfling is kind of staggering around, and then there's, someone passed out downstairs. Then there's 4 that are kind of awake, alert, keeping an eye out, making sure that no trouble has started. It is a fairly trim boat. There's lots of crammed together living space down below deck, so it could probably pack a pretty large crew into a relatively small space. There are 2 forward-mounted ballistae, smaller than the ones on the ground over here at the bandit camp, but mounted on the ship. Basically large crossbows. There are several big sails currently furled. Apparently those are, when unfurled, are what allow the ship to take off. The tiller is up on the quarterdeck in the rear, slightly raised. There are basically 2 decks below. There's the main deck, which is half living area and half light storage, and then there's the bilges down below, which carry more of the heavy stuff. And there is a ladder fore and aft and a central kind of wooden trapdoor thing that has an area where there could be a central cage put in. Additionally, I mentioned those long ropes coiled on either side. They have big hooks on them that look like they could be hooked into a big-ass iron cage.
Sounds good. All right. So,
And that is probably how that thing got transported.
all right, cool. So that is all good information. So I'm going to have to figure out how to make my way back to... All right. I am going to inform my buddy that I forgot my purse upstairs and I have to go get it. And I'm going to go
Okay, make a
upstairs.
deception check. With disadvantage, because you didn't have a purse.
That's an 18.
Still an 18. He says,
He's drunk. He doesn't know if I have a purse.
This isn't one of the totally incapacitated people, though.
Right, okay. Well, I say I've got to go find it. And
he says, all right.
so
He says, all right. All right, I'll come with you.
all right. So I'm going to make my way up to Equitas.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, what have you been doing, Equitas?
Checking out everything, probably looking at all the stuff that you've already described. It's on the deck of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping an eye on the dog, and probably keeping friendly relations with the first woman that sort of flirted with me some, just to keep that kind of going.
Oh, okay. What do you say to her? That's this person.
Oh, okay.
The dark-skinned half-elf.
Right. Well, I'm gonna say, this is pretty good liquor, huh? It's, maybe later on you and I can, share a bottle or two ourselves.
All right, make a persuasion check.
Go, buddy.
Awesome.
She says,
Well.
yeah, maybe later. The night is young. She kind of looks at you, hanging. She says, you sure are staring daggers at the dog.
Well, she doesn't seem to like me. She hasn't exactly been acting friendly towards me, and I thought that we were all gonna be friends.
Yeah. We'll be good friends. I'm sure of it.
Good.
She goes back to drinking a bottle of wine alone. Make a perception check.
Nine.
Okay. You catch a whiff of the wine, which smells quite delicious. But she seems to rebuff your advances, and you give up on that whole prospect. There doesn't seem to be much action there.
Sure.
Since you are spending more time up here and staying friendly, you are able to, just by virtue of your presence, try and distract the dog from following up on it when she finally notices that Bella has disappeared down below decks. So go ahead and make a... How would you try and distract her when she says Bella, when she notices that, and then says, "Hey, where'd that girl go?"
I'm gonna just sort of match her and say, "Hey, look, girl, and where she goes is none of your business. And if you have a problem, then you want to take it up with me. And this seems like, I think that she just went below decks with one of the sailors and is doing what you do below decks. And I think you ought to just drop it.
Make an intimidation roll. By the way, I think that's the nicest intimidation.
Yeah, I think so too.
That I've ever heard.
Oh, fuck it.
Especially from him.
You have advantage.
Oh, okay, good.
From being a tiefling.
Sweet.
Her eyes go wide. All right. And she kind of backs away from you. Looking you up and down. Like she's hunting for some sign. This allows Bella to have the full run of the place downstairs. Bella, make a perception roll for me.
$19.
Bella, you notice the West Head crest on the keg. The bottles of wine are marked Product of Crystal Glen, and many of the clothing and weapons are reminiscent of the mode of dress and style of armament from the Thunder Gulf.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, and those would all be to the west, correct?
No.
Or is it just all over the place?
Kind of all over the place.
All right. Well, in that case,
I guess Crystal Glen is a winery to the east.
Okay.
The other two are to the west.
Okay. I need to go upstairs and find my purse. So I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to zero in on Equitas, and I'm going to kind of like lean in, sort of swaying drunkenly, and then be like, we need to get everybody else on board here and take off before the first mate gets back. I figured out how to bring the cage of slaves on board.
I'm just going to sort of give a half nod.
All right. So if I can trust you to do that, I'm going to do my best to get everybody on board here as drunk and distracted as possible.
Wait. If you could trust me to do what?
Go get Breath and Ornar, Sarah, and
Yeah, I can do that.
Kiri and everybody on board. Send off a flare or something. I don't know. Can you do that whispery thing that Akiri?
Maybe. How far away are they?
I think we're in range. Your range is like 150 for that, right?
120. Let me look. Yeah. Yeah, I can do that because it doesn't say anything. Yeah, okay, I can pass it through solid objects if I'm familiar with the target. So yes, I can do that.
Okay, get them on board. There's a couple of hooks. I'll explain in a minute. You get everybody else on board and keep that redhead scared of you.
Check.
All right. So I'm going to brandish the jug of whiskey, and I'm going to dump some whiskey into everybody's cup, regardless of what they're drinking, and then start the loudest sea shanty I know. It's probably the fish one.
The fish one?
Yeah, you know, the one where you name all the different kinds of fish and then you say their physical attributes.
I think you're thinking of rock lobster.
That's it. It's
I
that
was gonna-
famous bagpiping tune by the B-52s.
I was also going to suggest 7 Drunken Nights.
Well, that's more of a lullaby,
What?
according
What?
to my child.
Oh yeah, that's right.
As I was going home on Monday night. Something like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. So you guys need to... Okay. Well, go ahead and send your message.
Okay. I'm going to send a message, and I'll put it in there. Boom. To a Carrie. And I'm gonna say, you'll need to come and get on the boat as quickly as you can. Yeah, we need to do this now. The first mate is not on board.
All right.
You can reply to this message.
All right. We'll be right there.
Okay.
And then Kira's going to turn to everyone else and say, all right, guys, so Equitas just messaged me and he said that we need to get on board because the first mate is not there, so we need to do this now.
That was quick. I guess we're going.
I guess so too.
We're what? We're going now? Says Ornar.
I guess so. We were given the okay. I don't exactly know what's
Are we
going on.
going to get the rest of the slaves?
I sure hope so.
Maybe they brought them up onto the ship to
They
serve
haven't
the
told-
drinks.
I honestly have no idea. All they told me is that we're doing this now.
Okay. He puts his hand on Sarah's shoulder and says, "Are you ready to leave? Take a leap?" She says, "Whatever happens, it can't be worse." Let's follow your sea brother. Right. Ornar, as you guys start making your way towards the ship, comes up behind you and says, "He's more than my sea brother. And I would follow him anywhere."
Well, we certainly have gotten a lot of appreciation for him. He saved all of our lives multiple times.
Well, we're gonna fly a ship that we don't own across the desert to rescue a bunch of slaves. No point in putting it off. Let's get going.
Quietly, please.
You make your way over to the ship. Now, in order to do this, you guys need to keep the party going, convince the people on board to allow these others on ship, and then take control of the ship. Is that right?
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Okay. So, we are going to do a skill challenge. In order to do that. So, anyone can contribute. And since there are 4 people on the deck who are not completely plastered, you need 4 successes before you get 4 failures. In order to pull this off. And we'll say that the last success and failure. The last success is special in that once you do that, there's no going back. Like once you like wrest control of the ship, right? There's there's no going back from that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And we'll say that the 4th failure in special in that if you get 3 failures, then they're going to call Chit Vicious back to the ship. If the 4th failure happens, then combat is going to break out. So
Cool.
3 failures, they call Chit Vicious. The 4th failure, combat. Sound good? Or make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So, as the rest of you start coming toward the ship, there's a party going up on the deck. The people are drunk. There is raucous laughter and singing. What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to make a performance check to play sea shanties on my bagpipes so loudly that the objections of the various sober people to our shenanigans cannot be heard.
It's bagpipes. That's not that hard.
Yeah, it's just like...
So that'll like
Normal.
cover up. Normal bagpipes definitely be loud enough. So that'll cover up Equitus's message spell and that kind of thing. Is that what you're saying? That sort of thing?
Yeah, and just kind of like keep the music going so loudly that people have to exhaust themselves shouting over us.
Okay. Go ahead and make a performance check.
It's kind of like I'm picturing it kind of like the scene in The Lion King where like the animals are all breaking out in some kind of massive Broadway number, and then the little bird is going around trying to talk sense into everybody, and just it doesn't work. But with backpacks.
Amazing.
So multiple birds appear when you start playing music?
Yeah, and they're all
I mean, Akira does.
Well, let's see if your check is high enough for that.
It's a 16.
Solid. So you just start blaring on the bagpipes, and people are trying to shout the song over it, but it's like louder than they can shout. And nobody is hearing Equitas whisper into his hands, or possibly anything else. So that is one success.
So how are we going to get on the boat?
Well, Akiri has it easy. That's all I'm worried about.
Would it be a good idea to use Ornar and Sarah as leverage to get on the boat? And a look who we found.
I feel like that's too dangerous. Specifically towards them.
Yeah. I mean, we're leaving anyway, but...
I know, but I'd prefer to keep them at full strength if possible. Just because we might need them. And that might put us in a bad light as well. Just like, how did you find those guys?
I want to keep up my intimidation with the dog while this is going on. I'm getting right in her face, and I am going to, I don't know, I'm going to say, look, you, what am I going to do? What am I going to say?
She's like, you don't scare me!
Oh, I don't?
Flirt.
I think you're I disagree. You're acting very scared, and you probably have a good reason to. If you knew, I don't fucking know.
No, I love it. He's so creepy.
Yeah, for real. I'm gonna say, if you had seen and done what I've seen and done, especially in the employ of the White Witch, then you would be even more afraid than you look.
So you're basically going to completely distract her from any sign of people coming on board.
Correct. I want her attention fully on me.
I think you're probably getting the attention of the rest of the crew as well.
Well, I mean, that's fine too. That's fine too.
So how hair-raising is your intimidation with advantage?
Hopefully it's very...
Let's see. Let's find out with a number.
Oh, shit. Well, it's advantage, so that's an 11.
That is a fail. Sorry. Oof. Bad luck. She's like, you're gross and annoying. They seem like a much shoutier, like as they're getting more liquored up, and it's past midnight now. They're getting more into the swing of like the general mood of the camp, which is very shouty, and I probably woke the baby up. Please tell me I didn't. I'm gonna try not to shout anymore. She's yelling really loud, and which is like generally very brash and shouty, and not that kind of eerie, creepy intimidation that Equitas does. She's like, You're just a stupid kid. What do you know? And looks around to see the rope ladder getting unfurled. Hey! So it is not successful, although everybody has to shout over the bagpipes still. And the party's still going, theoretically.
So I think at this point, I am just hearing the loud bagpipes and thinking this must be the distraction they have planned. I'm just going to clamber up, and as soon as I get up there, I'm going to find the biggest, beefiest person I can and challenge them to an arm wrestling match.
So you climb up, and this orange-haired woman comes up to you with this double-headed throwing axe at her belt. And she says, "Hey, who the hell do you think you are coming on board?" And this guy accompanies her, and he has 2 curved swords. And it's a toss-up as to which one is bigger and stronger looking.
Who am I? I'm your ship's new arm wrestling champion. Unless you think you can prove me wrong.
The guy with the 2 swords, who's this big, beefy dude in a turban. Although the rest of his clothes look like he's from the Thunder Gulf. He had pulled them out initially, and then he sheathes them and he says, "No way. I am the arm wrestling champion. But if you beat me, I'll give you a drink."
And if you beat me, I'll take a drink.
If I beat you, I throw you off.
Seems fair.
He grabs a barrel and slams it down between you guys. Come on! So some of the other crew is looking over like, what is happening? This is crazy. Are you going to make a strength check for this?
I was thinking it would be athletics, but I was also hoping to go into a rage as I do it. But that's in battle, so I don't know if that would work.
I think it still counts.
I think it would be a strength check, not an athletics check, really.
Okay.
I mean, it's straight up like who's stronger, but I would probably let you go into a rage.
Good, because otherwise I would fail.
You guys have to let me finish my sentences before you roll.
I rolled as you were saying I'll let you go into a rage.
I assume you rage then?
Yes, I am thrumming with it. I would shout, but likewise I don't want to wake up children, so.
So
but my
you get
muscles
advantage.
are bulging and veins are popping out and my eyes are bugging wild and thinking about my conversation with Orinar, and that's only fueling it.
You feel personally attacked as Sarah climbs on board after you, and you rage. Your veins pop out in your neck, and you get a 21. You get an advantage on your strength check.
Correct. Yes.
Very nice. So you will win, and that will be a success. God, this is a strong one. Come have a drink. And he
Gladly
fills a tankard from the keg. That's another success. So you guys have gotten Bref on board. It's possible that the two slaves could get on board pretty easily. The party is still happening. Bagpipes are playing. Equitas is being creepy, but it doesn't seem to impress this crowd.
Unsuccessfully.
Yeah, unfortunately, he rolled a 3 or something. 4. And it doesn't seem to be working on this crowd, for whatever reason. What else?
Could Akiri help sneak the two slaves on board?
How so? How does she
I'm
go about
thinking
doing
like showing them how to like keep low, kind of keep like as much as possible, keep a low profile, and get them either below decks or into a very like a well hidden spot, I guess, just to like make sure they're out of the way, low,
Okay.
unnoticed.
And this is Orinar and Sarah?
Yeah.
Alright, make a stealth check. I assume is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
A good roll.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, not only you can get them on board no problem.
You are a very sneaky bird.
She is so sneaky.
Mavra, you could easily tag along with one of those groups. Either Bref or Akiri.
Okay, I do that.
She's on board somehow.
Okay. This is going well.
Do you think using that same like stealthy self, Akiri could find Equitas and tell him that everyone's on board, we're ready to go?
Yes. I would love it.
Okay. So she's gonna find Equitas. All right, everyone's on board. We're ready to go. What's next?
She has to put her beak right next to your ear for you to hear her over the bagpipes.
You just like suddenly feel this beak right next to your ear, like, what's happening?
Yeah.
All right. So everyone's on board. We just need to get the slaves on board.
The slaves are on board. Oh, you mean
No,
the...
I mean the cage.
The
Yeah.
cage.
The cage, yeah.
Have to make sure everyone's drunk too.
Well, Bella discovered that the cage could be carried beneath the ship via the ropes and hooks.
Maybe that could be our last check if someone wants to go fishing.
The ship would have to be airborne for that. So you need your final check to wrest control of the ship. By the way, the Man with No Screen Name thinks this scene should be a William Street Fever Dream production.
I was just watching Metalocalypse a second ago, right before this game started.
Nice. Party's in full swing. People are bugged by Equitas, but not, super bugged. There's loud music, singing. It seems like this ship is in general part of the general Bandit Moot celebration. But of course, it is crawling with your group, your nameless group, armed and ready to take some action. You guys have one more check to complete.
Can I make sure that the cage is ready to go when we are airborne? Like, if everything is the way it needs to be to make sure it...
You go over to the port side of the ship and look over. I mean, there are some sad-looking people in the big iron cage, and a pair of guards on the door at the door on the other side of the cage. Over here. It's made of these metal iron bars, and you also see the hooks that can simply be lowered to hook into the cage and tug it away.
I'm gonna find Breath. Breath, do you know how to start this thing?
Yeah, we just need to get the sails down, work the ropes a little bit, and probably have someone on the rudder so we don't immediately curve and smash into one of the towers. And shouldn't be too bad.
Well,
Have I
think
noticed?
we're
Is
ready
there
to
an
go.
anchor? Do we have to weigh anchor?
There is an anchor.
We'll need to get the anchor up too.
It sounds like a job for you or Mavra. But I think we're ready
Maybe
to go.
that could be our last check. Is me and Mavra team up to weigh anchor?
Yeah, but we need to get everyone, like, incapacitated somehow.
Once we're in the air, I think that they're gonna follow our orders.
I don't know. I'm not sure they will.
I mean, I think that they largely will, especially once we get the rest of the slaves on board and they're outnumbered.
That's what Oronor was saying, right? That
Yep.
they
Yep.
kind of have to follow our lead.
You might not have been here during that part of the conversation.
Nah, I don't think I was.
Simply weighing anchor won't help you get control of the ship. Like, that is a
Exactly.
physical thing that you have to do in order to fly the ship. But it's not going to help with the... Remember, there's this raucous party that you're kind of keeping going. There's covering the approach of all these other people on board that you were covering up. There was an attempt at intimidation, there, etc. Now things are in place, but you don't necessarily have control of the ship. You've got to come up with something to take control of the situation.
Does it seem like Mercy's kind of the one in charge at the moment?
Yes, it does.
Mavra, how about you go
She was
knock Mercy out?
Described as the quartermaster.
Really? That's really what you're going to do.
We gotta show him who's in charge.
All right.
Yeah.
I go behind Quartermaster and use my hammer.
The hammer
It's
is
hammer time.
my hammer. Okay. When you say use your hammer, Are you, like, trying to knock her brains out?
No, I think non-lethal.
Okay. So you want to use your hammer to do non-lethal damage to her.
Yes, but to knock
Okay.
her out.
Got it. All right. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Good grief.
Nice hit. And solid damage as well. Wham! In one fell blow, the dwarf reaches up and just causes the dog, the pirate known as the dog, to sink down to the floor of the deck. From around her neck, there falls a key.
I'm gonna grab the key.
No one is noticed. You guys have been extraordinarily successful in causing all of these distractions that no one really notices as you reach down and grab the key from the unconscious woman.
All right, so now what?
You
Do we
now
want
you now have
to
control of the ship.
start unfurling the sails and raising the anchor?
And attach the cage.
Go fishing for the cage.
You and Orinar, who scrambles up from below decks, drop the sails, untie the tiller. Maver helps you lift the anchor. And the people on board start to look around in confusion as the ship begins to move. There's a rustling sound as it begins to pull away from the sand. Who is lowering the hooks?
Milo.
Okay.
Well, you were weighing the anchor.
Maybe Akiri could help guide the hooks onto the cage.
That's not a bad idea. She could be underneath the ship.
So I can lower the hooks and she can guide them or something.
Or maybe we could get Equitas to do it so you're still up on deck distracting people.
Great.
Yeah, I'll lower the hook.
And it starts going like this. Dragging up from the sand and lifting into the air, buoyed by the enchantments upon the sails as they drop down.
Okay, Gary's gonna guide the chains onto the cage. Does it look like
Alright.
there's like places where it normally sits, or does it just
I'm going
attach
to
to
ask
the
you to make
bars?
a ranged attack roll.
Which is how would I do that?
Just roll a d20 and add your dexterity modifier for me.
Dex. Okay. It's a 10.
You're struggling with it. You guys are, the ship is kind of up in the air. The crew is starting to look around. A lot of them are drunk or still distracted by the loud bagpipe music. But Akiri is like trying to like lower the hooks, and she's like waving them around, and they're like dinking against the sides of the iron bars, but it's not working.
I go up to Bella and say, Bella, this might be a good time to announce that we're in charge now.
All right, I'm going to make my way up to the quarterdeck and stand by the tiller and say, all right, everybody, you probably figured out by now that we're ready to head on out and blow this bandit-filled popsicle stand. So I'm your captain, Bella. Would everybody please help my friend the bird pick up the slaves and heave them along with us?
That's quite the title.
You're kind of barely above the ground at this point. You're about 10 feet up. And they're like looking around. Some of them are standing up, starting to wonder what the hell's up. Go ahead and make an... I guess that would really... I wouldn't say it's a persuasion or a intimidate, so just make a straight charisma check.
$16.
Solid enough to keep them from immediately attacking you, but none of them jump up to help Akiri.
Can I cast Mage Hand and try to help the
That's interesting.
The hooks.
The hook and rope is probably more than 5 pounds, which I believe is the limit of Mage Hand.
10 pounds. But I don't know if
10
it's
pounds. Interesting.
I'll dump it in there.
And I did say you were only about 10 feet off the ground. It used to be 5 pounds. Okay. Alright. Yeah. I think that you still need to make a dexterity check, but with advantage. Your hand is basically closer to the action. But you still have to, like, fiddle with it.
Sure. Okay. Okay.
Advantage. 16. You succeed. The hooks, one by one, are tink, tink, tink. All 4 hook onto the corners of the cage. And then the ship kind of groans as once that's in place. As Bref, you and Orinar are swiftly working together to figure out how to fly this thing. But in addition to the regular tiller, you can kind of move the tiller to cause the ship to raise and lower. And you raise it, and the ship begins to rise up into the air. Shouts ring out, and on board the ship, the pirates draw their weapons. Shing!
Well, no, I'm busy. Do you want to show them what we did to Mercy?
We showed her no mercy.
Yeah, I'll try that. I'll say, look, if you're not on board with us, then look what happened to the person that the only person so far that has been against us.
I lift my hammer a bit.
No, you lift the slightly bloody hammer. And there's definitely a moment of hesitation. It's not going to be that easy, says the guy you arm wrestled with, and draws his 2 curved swords. Shing! And with that, we're going to take a short break and roll initiative when we get back.
Can you play that on your bagpipes?
Absolutely.
Back in a few minutes, folks.
I'm very confused at what I'm looking at on Mavra's camera. Is that the laptop?
Yeah. She has it tilted down.
Ah.
And we're live. So, we were about to roll initiative, weren't we?
Yep.
Let's go.
You might want to wait until I clear it before you roll. I will add a turn for Breath and Equitas on this crowded ship.
Ooh, that's a sucky one for Kiri. But I don't know, I usually want clerics going last.
This could be over very quickly in these close quarters. Breath is probably over at the tiller. If you guys, I added turns for you two. If you want to edit your initiative, you should be able to.
I think I did.
It does seem that you did. Alright. So, Breath, you're the first one to react to this situation as this guy pulls his curved swords.
So, with my nautical knowledge, if I move away from the tiller, are we going to crash?
Looking ahead of the direction that you're heading, the cage that you're dragging below the ship might hit the tops of the tents or even the ballista.
Not necessarily a bad thing.
Well,
cage with
I'm
people,
worried
right?
about... Yeah, I'm
Sure.
worried about the people, not so much the cage. So would it be like my movement? Would it be my action to move the ship?
It would be your action to control the ship.
Okay. I am going to
do it like a special control, which in this case would be like a hard bank.
Yes, I'm going to bank to the left and tilt to start raising the elevation.
All right. So to do that like especially quickly is an action on your part.
Okay.
So I am going to ask you to make an athletics check to shove those things into place in time. Using his powerful muscles, Briff spins a tiller against the light wind in the night here.
Can I also shout out to my friends, remember we want them alive?
That's a good thing to shout.
Yes, you can.
And I think that'll be my whole turn.
So the ship gives this big turn and lifts, and you see people running around down below, like, what is going on? What is the Steel Tooth Pack doing? Mavra, your turn. It's all chaotic on the deck. People are running around, their weapons out. There's shouting on the ship and down below.
Is anyone attacking anyone right now?
These two people here are menacing Equitas. The guy up in the crow's nest has a ranged weapon out, a crossbow. And Bref is being menaced by this person with 2 daggers. Could you see my pings?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to the 2-sworded guy. And non-lethally hit him with my hammer.
Okay.
$18.
That's a hit. He takes 8 non-lethal damage, but does not go down. And seems to take the blow and kind of grunt. And,
I have one more attack, so...
Okay.
$10.
This time, you miss as he ducks down and deflects with the 2 curved blades.
That ends my turn.
Equitas. Thank you.
I'm going to shout, we don't want any trouble. Just everybody put down your arms and we'll be friendly. But at the same time, since this guy has already been menacing, I am going to shoot him with an Eldritch Blast. With 14. I got 2. So there's the second one. It's even worse.
Oh my god, double ones. You're firing 2 Eldritch Blasts. Where are they going again?
To this one with this 2 swords.
Okay.
That Maver went after.
Okay. You got a 14. You have disadvantage when making a ranged attack in melee combat. And you got a 14, and you do miss, I'm afraid. So the other one is a terrible miss and just fires into the deck below your feet.
Yeah. And I'm going to stay where I am.
Okay.
And that'll be my turn.
And he says, "Ha ha! Missed me!" And spins his cutlasses at you. Bella, your turn.
Alrighty. I am... Well, I guess... I'm going to go ahead and cast Fairy Fire.
Interesting.
And I'm going to angle it so that it hits these... Oh. No, I don't think I can. It's too big. Damn it. Alright, I'm going to cast it on over here so that it hits this.
Now, Fairy Fire is 20 by 20?
Yeah. I was trying to hit the 3 guys, or the 3 guys here. But I don't think I can do it without hitting Equitas and Mavra or Akiri.
I will hellishly rebuke you.
Yeah,
I
see?
wouldn't really.
Oh, I know you would.
Where are you trying to put it?
You know what? No, instead of that, I'm just going to cast Hideous Laughter.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast it on the Sky in Black.
Alright, that half-elf woman
Perfect.
gets a 6.
That ain't gonna do it.
So she collapses to the ground as you concentrate on whatever joke you just told her. Magically enhanced and hideously begins laughing. And she's an ugly laugher, let me tell you.
Well, she sure is now.
Oh, yeah.
If she wasn't before.
Alright, that is the end of my turn.
Akiri. It's very weird, Akiri, to be airborne on something not under your
Yeah,
own
without actually
power.
flying. Well, because it looks like Breath is still in trouble. Kiri's gonna do her favorite spell with the guy menacing him, Guiding Bolt. Because, why?
And who are you targeting that? Non-lethally?
Yeah. Non-lethally, the guy that was menacing Breath. Because I believe he is still up and... Yeah, that dude. That's the bitch.
Roll it. From your current position, he is hard to see because of the sails.
Okay, then can I drop onto the deck? Perchance?
He would still be obscured. Because he's up on the quarterdeck. So unless you move some distance up or down the ship.
Okay, let's move... Getting closer to him. Let's go... Could I move to the next set of sails?
Sure. So you want to fly
Back.
to perch on the mainsail?
Yeah.
All right, you do so. So you're up on the yardarm.
Cool.
That crossbar is what that's called.
It's basically a funky tree. Akiri's gonna shoot him with it. If she can see him, she's gonna shoot him.
All
Or
right.
attempt to shoot him.
Do you want to move yourself?
Yeah. Give me a sec.
There you go.
Just like, yeah.
Now you can see him. Unimpeded.
And getting bolt with the butt. Or not, I guess.
Oh my gosh, a natural 1. Another natural 1.
Ow.
The
That
guiding,
was good damage,
the
too.
brilliant bolt of energy flies forth from your hand and blasts off into the night and smashing against the rocks down below.
Well, I tried. That's the end of my turn.
Okay, the bad guys go. This guy begins spinning in place, holding the two curved swords in some kind of strange position. He begins spinning around, slashing at both Mavra and Equitas.
I'm just imagining, like,
Whirling
what's-
dervish. Wow.
or I guess, or not, I guess.
Well, Equitas' AC is 16, and Mavris is higher than that. He misses twice. You both kind of step back as he just starts spinning around and around, the blade spinning past you in the dark, totally missing you completely. The halfling out drunkenly up in the crow's nest fires down. Or actually, he fires across at Akiri, who's flying up on the yardarm.
Hey, audience, I think it's time we told you now that this has all been a PSA. Remember, don't drink and sword fight.
He gets a hit on Akiri.
Shield.
Alright, that raises your AC 2.
2.
To what?
22.
To 22. He will still hit.
Dang it, then I retract the shield. Can I retract? Actually, no.
No,
I'll
you
keep it up.
cannot.
I'll keep it up.
You can't retract it.
Dang it.
It uses a charge.
Oh well, she'll still be shielded in case anyone else tries to get her.
Alright, so he just sneak attacked you.
Ow.
Popping up out of the crow's nest to attack. And you take 14 points of damage. Actually, plus 3 on that. So 17 points of damage. Bref. Orinar is kind of trying to body block. But, for you. But, this guy kind of just slips past him and attacks you. Saying, "Down, slave." So he slashes at you twice with 2 daggers. But your AC is 16, and he misses. So you're holding onto the tiller and dodging attacks back and forth as you guide the ship on this hairpin turn.
So yeah, perhaps a badass.
I'm kind of picturing like a Jackie Chan using the tiller to like block the assaults as they come in.
Akiri, the
Yes.
rogue that you did not see in the rigging right next to you,
Oops.
that you flew next to without knowing it, slashes at you for a sneak attack.
Is it the guy with the knives?
Yep.
Come on.
He will also hit, despite the shield being up.
Stop rolling exactly my AC.
For 12 damage.
Not as bad as last time.
And you guys hear shouting down below. And in particular, there's a red-haired guy comes out of this tent and says, "Stop that ship! Shoot them out of the sky!" And a scramble begins down below. A couple of people go over to this big, gigantic ballista and begin winching it. There's some lights that light up and torches are lit and shouting erupts throughout the camp. Ref.
So what's the steering situation like now?
Well, if you don't want to do something special, which is really at your option, the ship is now pointing this direction. If you,
I kind of had the feeling that maybe it's not gonna crash into anything if I take a swing at Daggerman.
you would. The problem is you don't know exactly what's going to happen if you let go, because the wind could cause it to go in a surprising direction. So you don't have to spend an action to direct the ship if it's not a special action, but unless you tie the tiller in place, you do have to keep one hand on it at least.
So that'd be like maybe disadvantage on my attacks?
Well, it is a two-handed weapon, isn't it?
I don't know. Let me check. What I have now is a greatsword, I believe.
Yes.
Think so. That's a two-handed weapon.
Can I just rage and just, like, punch him?
Yes. You can attempt to.
Then that's what I'll do.
Alright, go for it.
I'm going to rage and punch
Rage.
Daggerman.
Punch Daggerman.
Is
Now, is that going to impose disadvantage because I'm only using one fist?
Yeah, I think that would be kind of awkward.
Then I'm going to recklessly attack him.
Alright.
Okay, so I think it's just going to be my. It's been a while since I've punched someone. Is it just my strength modifier to hit?
Yeah, it is. I don't think you're
Okay.
proficient in unarmed strike.
Punching. So the highest is going to be a 13.
Okay. That will miss, unfortunately, as you
Okay.
swing out wildly with no regard for your personal safety.
And then, bonus action. I am going to send a, let me see, here we go, to Akiri via dolphin.
You had to use your bonus action to rage.
Oh, crap, I did. Sorry, Akiri.
Oh, that was a good one. That's okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Then that will end my turn.
The ship and everyone on it and the cage move 60 feet this direction, and also higher into the air. down off the cage, the 2 guards of the cage door are hanging off of it, just dangling. Ah! Mavra.
I'm going to take another non-lethal swing at the 2 swords guy. Wrong thing. Sorry. 12. But another one.
Hey.
19.
That will hit for 12 bludgeoning. Ah! He takes that big hit and kind of staggers a little bit. He probably can't take another one of those.
That's the end of my turn.
He says, "You hit hard, dwarf." And then it's Equitas's turn.
All right, I'm gonna send an Eldritch Blast up. This guy here, that's the one that just hurt Akiri, right? And he's up there on the mast.
Yes,
with,
yes,
with
exactly.
Akiri, correct?
Mhm, correct.
All right, and I'm gonna send a couple of Eldritch Blasts, and if I hit him, I'm going to put Repelling Blast on it to try to knock him off the mast.
Nice.
So, first one's a 12, which I doubt hits, and a 17.
Well, a 17 hits. He doesn't get a save or anything against the knockback.
Nope. I'll dump it in there. I'll try to. There it is.
10 feet away from you in a straight line.
Considering your angle, he gets almost shoved off the ship.
Ah! I'll give him
Up in the air.
I'll give him a save to grab onto the edge, but he's gonna take damage from falling. Oh boy. So he's going to fall, smack the boat, and then fall further and crash into the cage, and then down to the ground.
Nice. It's gonna be my
Bye.
turn.
So it's gonna be 2d6, 1d6, 1d6. That guy is mangled by the time he gets down to the ground. Splat! Knocked clean off after dealing so much damage to Akiri.
Akira's gonna yell, "Thank you!"
Is that Equitas's turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Alright. A man has just fallen to his death, and it is Bella's turn.
All right, how fun and exciting. I'm going to go ahead and, since it's nighttime, I'm going to pull out my bow.
Yeah.
The penumbral longbow.
Yes. And I'm going to shoot this guy.
Bit of an awkward angle there since he's in the crow's nest.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, well, I guess I'll shoot this guy then, who's
Okay.
up in everybody's business.
Alright.
Dang, that's where all the 20s
Are you
went
doing
to.
non-lethal?
Yeah, unfortunately.
You are doing non-lethal?
Yeah. I was shooting him in the leg or something.
Well, I don't know why you're sad. It's still a crit.
I know.
Roll double damage. Okay. Did you... I see. So you had to roll
Oh wait,
it?
I'm sorry. I double clicked it should just be 14.
Is it?
I think.
1d8 plus 2 plus 2. But it didn't roll a second d8, did it? Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 14 damage brings him down.
I like how either way it's 14 damage. Whichever roll you take it.
That's true. Amazing. As he goes down, the fight totally goes out of the crew. And the half-elf woman who's laughing so hard just kind of flops over and laughs in Bella's direction. The halfling up in the crow's nest says, this new first mate is badass. He says, I surrender! And flops over drunkenly. The guy who's been attacking Bref raises his daggers, just like this, and says, hey, I know when there's a new boss in town.
And her name is Captain Bella.
Alright. Yeah. That's me. I'm gonna go stand up by Bref at the tiller, and I'll be like, Mr. Bref, take us to Westhead.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Oh, and pull those slaves up on the deck and let them out. Don't just hang them off the edge like that.
Is there? I mean, I'm guessing there's a way to work the hooks so that we lift the cage all the way onto deck.
Yeah, there's like a crane on the edge that can kind of swing it out. That's attached to the rope, and you can kind of swing it out to the side and then lift it up the side. So Bella, you walk over there, you say that, and then it is Akiri's turn.
Akiri's gonna, seeing that the fighting's pretty much out of everyone, is gonna plunk herself down on the mast and cast Cure Wounds on herself.
You guys can hear the slaves screaming in the cage.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have those 2 guards hanging off the cage.
And people possibly shooting at us with ballistas.
Your magical healing energy enters you for 9 healing. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. They fire the ballista. Okay. Bref, what is your dexterity score?
My mod is 3, score is 16.
That's pretty good. Oops. Okay. The bolt strikes the side of the ship, and you guys feel the whole thing go as the entire ship, under the force of it, shifts a few feet to the port side, swinging everything crazily. There's an explosion. The bolt is packed with magical explosives. Like a big red firework. pow on the side of the ship. The ship loses some of its HP. And, by the way, the ship, yes. Hang on. I think I'm going to, I'm going to do something a little fun here.
I'm not sure I like the sound of that.
There we go. Can you guys see the ship's health bar?
I don't think
There are so many health bars, I'm not sure which one might be the ship.
Right.
Yeah, right now I only see them above the 5 of us.
Same.
How about now?
I don't think so.
Alright, well, the ship just took 31 damage.
Oof. At least it wasn't one of us who took that damage.
Well, it's not working, but that's fine. Okay. So the ship just went down from 100 HP to 69.
Nice.
Nice.
You guys are children. The, there's more scrambling down below, and some archers begin and crossbowmen start firing up at you. So these people over here and the people on the watchtowers.
Okay, now that's excessive.
And looks like they are mostly firing at Aquitas, Bella, and Bref. So each of you is taking one shot, except Bella's taking 2. So Aquitas, that's a hit.
Yep.
So the flame arrow deals 7 points of damage to you, plus 3 points of fire damage, which you have resistance to.
Alright.
Bella, you're taking 2 shots.
It's tough being the captain.
Also, they have the best angle to you at the moment. That is going to be no hits, actually. The fire arrows fly past you. Meanwhile, Aquitas is lighting up the ship because he's on fire. Has a fire arrow stuck to him anyway. Bref is taking 1 shot. Bref, you are missed. But there are more archers gathering. Clusters of them. And you hear some booming female voice shout, Another insult to the authority of the Thief Kings! Bring that ship down!
Oh no.
Bereft.
I mean, anything I can do to make the ship go, 1, faster, and 2, higher is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, you can try to take a special action with the ship to make that happen.
Would that be another athletics, or?
With your sailing background... Yeah, we'll say athletics.
Okay, 18.
Yeah, that's a success. Heave-ho! The ship begins rising and speeding along faster, so you're putting more distance more quickly. So you successfully increase the ship's speed by 20 feet, which, since it's a double move, it is going to move 100 feet. You're not changing direction?
No, I'm going to go as just
Okay.
fast one direction as possible.
As they sense the ship taking off more quickly under the direction of its of the pilot, the two guards hanging onto the cage drop down to the ground. However, the slaves in the cage are still screaming. They don't know what's going on. And this is not a comfortable way to travel. The next one to go is Mavra.
Can I try to help the slaves up into the ship?
That would not be easy. But I would let you make an athletics check to do so. You can try to just manhandle. You can just try to just power through. It's really meant for like multiple people to like winch the crane around and lift up the cage with all the people in it. But I will let you make an athletics check to do it faster.
Can I do
solo.
an acrobatics check?
Nothing really acrobatic about this.
Okay. Nine.
Unfortunately, you start the process. You don't have to, you can't really fail that. But you start winching it and you're just like, this is taking a really long time. And the ship also starts listing slightly as the cage weight starts going over to one side. Equitas.
Okay. So we got the slaves in the cage below us. We got some people on the ground that might try to give us problems.
Yeah. This ballista is has just been loaded.
Which ballista?
This one.
Well, it must be off the map.
No, I'm pinging it. Here.
Oh, okay. And I'll bet you anything it's more than 150 feet away from me.
Well, you can measure that.
It is 90. It's actually not. It says 90 feet. 95. So I'm going to fireball it. Yeah.
Are you mixing in some shadow magic?
Yes, I am, for sure.
So the fireball is full of dark, screaming faces as well as in the fire.
Here's my
Necrotic
hit die.
energy. Spend that hit die. Well then. Oh man, one of my favorite sound effects for this. Hang on. Yeah, here it is. Alright, this might be loud.
That's a great sound effect. That's amazing.
Thank you, Daniel Warnicki. So there is a huge explosion down in the camp as fiery runes surround Equitas's fingers, and a streak of flame then detonates down below. Those two guys, what's the DC? 15?
Yes.
And then they take half of 36 total?
That's right.
Okay, so there's just a circle of devastation down there. As the fireball takes effect.
I wanted to set this place on fire so bad.
And it does set things on fire. The tents begin burning. The ballista is utterly destroyed. It is just nothing. And you can actually see, like, partially into this big tent, where there are some not so happy people that have been touched by the edge of the fireball.
Nice.
Nice
That's
one.
it for me.
Bella.
Alrighty. Well, I think I'm gonna start helping get the slaves up on top. I don't really think I can do anything from up here. So I'm just gonna go over to the cage and start trying to winch them up and help them clamber on board.
Oh, okay. You're gonna help Maver do that?
Yeah.
Gotcha. With two people, it's actually much more doable than with one. But make an athletics check.
This will go well. Six.
Well, you're not able to speed it along, but you are able to assist her.
You're not helping, but you're not hindering either.
I'll take it.
You're not making it go faster, but it is still able to occur. Okay. Ak-Iri. There's a circle of fire that that came from Equitas's magic down there, and there was also some dark magic mixed in with it. You recognize a little
clap.
necrotic energy eating away the ashes.
Akiri is kind of tempted to clap because that was pretty fantastic. But instead, she's going to go. What is she going to do? She's going to go see if she can help winch him up as well.
Make an athletics check.
Y'all ready to see a great athletics check? It's going to be fantastic.
I'm so ready.
That's not bad considering she has a -1. It's a 12.
A 12. You are a little more energetic than these other two, and with 3 people, you are pretty sure that you'll be able to do it at the top of the next round.
Sweet.
Mavra's next turn, because she initiated it. Okay. There is a figure that has now been revealed by the damaged central tent. This figure has all of these razor blades forming wings out of its wrapping-covered back. And it has this big, like strange staff. And it kind of looks towards the boat that everyone's shooting at and screaming at. And the Lord of Razors raises the staff, and an otherworldly scream washes out from within the tent. As this cloud of blades forms in the air in the shape of a skull and flies toward your ship, passing through the ship and all of you. I am going to need all of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
I swear I'm a cleric.
Bella, did you? Oh, there you are. Okay, never mind.
Okay. Everyone, you know what you got. Bref, I'm gonna need... You're on the tiller. I'm gonna need... I'm gonna need you to roll for the ship. Actually, I take that back. Have you all accepted Bella as the captain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bella, roll
Yeah,
for the
of
ship.
course.
Oh, good. This is a wisdom save.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the crew, part of the ship.
Well, y'all made a mistake.
We chose wrong.
Okay. If your save was lower than a 17, you take 32 psychic damage as the cloud of mental razor blades passes through your body, and you imagine, you're forced to imagine what it would feel like were all of these ghostly razors passing through your body.
Kiri's out.
Akiri falls to the deck from the yardam.
Oh no, she was. Oh, I forgot to move myself. She was with the.
She was with
she was
us.
with-
Oh yeah, she was helping
Wench.
Wench.
She collapses on the deck. Oh, that's right. You were helping Mitch. The ship also takes 32 damage. And it is now got rips in all the sails, which shimmer with tiny glowing runes. And the sides of the ship are kind of awash in these clustering runes that run over the boards like living things. There's, there's like it's kind of weird. It's like where the blades pass through, the material it doesn't have a hole, like a physical hole, but it's almost like it's been turned into into foam or dust where it is. So if you touch a spot where one of the razor blades pass through, it just crumbles. Like it's lost its integrity. Now, if you made the save, you take half of 32.
Bref, you have absolutely ridiculous amounts of health.
I really, really do.
Just wait if you guys ever meet a hill giant.
Please no.
Please, yes.
Please no.
No, if we meet a hill giant, my belt will become even more powerful.
As your healthcare provider, please no.
Okay. Seeing what happened over there, these guys redouble their efforts to load that ballista. So they spend their turn loading it. It's now loaded. The archers on the field will also fire. And let me double check the range on an X-bow. There must be some way to view this.
Kiri has a light crossbow. Well, what kind of crossbow do they have?
Heavy. Why is this so hard to find?
Well, Kiri's range
100. Okay. So they are going to be, with the big rush of speed, some of the archers are firing with disadvantage. So disadvantage. And this is at the back of the ship. Disadvantage. Okay, that's a miss. That's a hit. So, Orinar is hit.
Oof.
And actually, he is hit in the act of reaching toward you, Bref, and saying, I can take the tiller if you want to help your friends fight. And then he's struck by a bolt.
And that's when Bref goes into a rage.
I don't think Breath even has anything he can do right now besides steer the ship. I mean,
The fire arrow buries itself in Orinar, and with a sizzle, he takes 5 total damage. He says, I'm all right. I can take the tiller if you need to fight. And there are 3 more arrow shots. Now, the crew is kind of like, some of them are wondering if they should abandon ship. They have been cowed by you guys. They're not particularly helping for the moment. But they are still getting shot at. So the half-elf next to Equitas kind of ducks as an arrow flies past her. And Equitas, you're taking a shot. Your AC is
16.
That will hit you. So you take 2 damage and then 1 fire. Okay. The ship is heavily damaged, but still operational. And there are still more warriors. There's another archer over here to the south, on the among those tents and buildings, and this one's firing at Bella. Bella's hit. Bella takes 12 total damage.
I'm unconscious.
The captain goes down. With the captain unconscious, the crew that you cowed looks a little less inclined to follow your orders. Bref.
I'm gonna say to Ornar, I've got the till. You need to see what you can do to make sure the ship doesn't go down.
Right.
And bonus action, I'm gonna wake up Akiri with a hit die. Then action, try and get this ship moving quickly, as quickly and fastly and away, come on, as possible.
4 points of healing to Akiri.
She's up.
And that's a 25 for the ship.
Wow. Okay. So, basically, Bref kicks it into high gear. Lifts the tiller, swings it round. Another bolt goes flying past in the night. Exploding like a fireball behind you. You rise and rise, and the winds get higher as you go up. More arrows flying. But slowly the thwack of them hitting the hull begins to fade away in the background as you guys swing up and away from the bandit camp. And a few minutes later, it almost seems sudden or strange. You're away. You're out in the desert. Over the desert, I should say. You pull the cage up. The slaves within are initially very surprised. Akiri, I assume you're going to heal
bolting
people.
to Bella. Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to say I'm bolting to Bella because I have a potion.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Are you giving Bella the potion?
Yes.
Okay.
Boom.
It's 2d4
Superior.
plus 2.
Yeah, I'll roll.
Oh, it's superior.
Yeah, it's 2. It's whatever. It's 2d8. Yeah.
Lord.
4 plus 8. Hang on, I'm putting it in. 8d4 plus 8.
Okay.
32.
That's not
Nice.
exactly how much we took her out. No, wait, it's 36. Never mind. Sorry. I was going to say that Akira is also going to do a round of mass healing word on everyone real quick. Just like our party, everyone, including Ornar.
Okay. Everyone's healed. The slaves are winched up. They are very confused and very surprised to be released from the cage.
Everyone take 8 points.
Bella got
Not that good yet.
32 on top of that, I believe.
Yeah, Isabella should be just about good.
And there is a ruckus left behind, a bright spot in the desert as many torches are kindled and distant explosions occur. Perhaps the flames licking from the fireball set off some other kind of explosive. But you're up, you're away. And Bref, I guess you swing the ship around in the wind and begin heading east or west to Westhead.
Bring me that horizon.
Okay. Equitas, Bella wakes up in your arms with a bit of the superior healing potion leaking out of the corner of her mouth.
I thought you were dead.
Yeah. Yeah, almost. I guess I'll get up and say, but I guess I have captaining to do. And I head right back to the tiller and talk to Bref about, so we've got to get to Westhead as quickly as possible. Do you know the general direction? I mean,
It's
last...
called West Head, so I'm hoping it's west.
I know it's on the coast, so if we head toward the ocean, we should be able to figure it out from there.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Leaving the insanity of destruction behind you, and consoling the people who have just been freed from their iron cage. What do you do with the iron cage, by the way?
I say
Maybe
drop
we
it.
should throw it off the
Yeah, I was
side.
gonna say drop it.
You cut the ropes and let it crash down to the desert below. Into the darkness. Gone. When that happens, Orinar breathes a sigh of relief, standing again next to Bref at the tiller. He puts his arm on your shoulder. That was amazing.
Well, like I said, my friends and I, we rarely know what we're doing, but we usually do it pretty well.
I knew exactly what I was doing that whole time. That's why I'm
Akira
the
says,
captain now.
I definitely didn't.
You have some good friends. I'm just going to make sure that Sarah and William and poor old Robin are all right. But maybe I could come back and help you navigate. We can see the stars.
I'd like that.
Good. He nods at Bella. Thank you, Captain.
Aye, aye, soldier. Is that what you say?
They're sailors.
We'll work on it.
Right. Well, I'll get the hang of it quickly.
And you sail off into the sky with an airship stolen from pirates, leaving a partially destroyed bandit camp behind you, and a boatload of rescued slaves.
And several pilots. Pirates.
And several pirates who are once again under your control now that the captain's awake. And Aquitas, Would you go onto your character sheet for me
I shall.
and remove the mark next to your alignment, please?
Gladly.
Thank you.
Oh, look at him. He's getting better.
Alright, guys. That's what we're going to call our game. The Bandit Moot Part 2. The Rescue. Well done. Whew. That could have gone differently.
Yeah, I was scared.
I had the entire thing under control the whole time.
Oh.
My favorite part was when you controlled being unconscious. That was really, really my favorite part.
All according to plan.
Also, I'd like to note that the ghostly skull of knives is 100% mine.
Yeah, I hope we see him again.
Dude, he was cool. Like, on one hand, I'm absolutely terrified of him, but he's so cool.
He's probably friendly.
Good character design, Mac.
Thank you. That's a really good compliment. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you to Taladar, the man with no screen name, Faithful Centurion, who was here earlier, and everyone else who dropped in or will watch this later. Thank you so much for checking out our game. We really love having people come and hang out and appreciate the story that we're all making up together. You're very welcome, the man with no screen name. Thank you to Bref, played by Jeremy. Thank you to Akiri, played by M. Thank you to Equitas, played by Paul. Thank you to Mavra, played by Danielle. Thank you to Bella, played by awesome birthday girl, Kirsten.
That's right, happy birthday!
A happy one indeed. And you wanted a special present for in-game for your birthday? How about
I guess
a
I got a
flying
ship.
pirate ship? All right, good night, folks. Thank you so much. Until next time, when we're back with the Wildlands.